Here we go. Let's go ahead and talk about the 97th Academy Awards, all the big Oscar winners, all right? We did a watch-along last night, again, hosted by Deadpool. Thank you for doing that. I managed to catch the back half of it, but it was very, very enjoyable. I really liked it. And so, of course, watching it, everyone has their opinions on it, who won, who didn't, the major snubs. I have my opinions on that. I feel like there was some stuff that won, and I'm glad it won, and there was some stuff that didn't win that, in my opinion, honestly, should have won, because I thought it was better than the other stuff that was nominated alongside it. But let's just go ahead. I guess my overall thoughts on the ceremony, which I've seen, I saw the majority of the back half. I went back and I saw a little bit of the first half of the ceremony. First of all, I think Conan O'Brien did a really good job. I think he's been one of the better hosts in the last few years. I've always liked Conan O'Brien. I think he's one of the better late-night modern talk show hosts. And I think he's even better as a comedian now that he's just kind of more laid back doing his podcasting. I've always liked him. He's very charming, oftentimes very, very funny. And I think he's perfect for hosting gigs like this. And he had some good jokes, at the expense of a number of people there. Loved him going after Amelia Perez. That was very funny. His opening bit with Demi Moore and The Substance I thought was great. Some really good stuff. So in terms of his hosting, that was good. I think he should have been used more, honestly. And I think he should be one of the regular hosts for the time being, for the future. It should be Conan O'Brien, the Muppets, get the Muppets in there, and get Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger as hosts for the Oscars. Just get them. Just, every other year, have one of the other do the show, do the ceremony. But, and there was, honestly, they did some other, skits and bits throughout the show that didn't really involve, Conan O'Brien, and I feel like, and of course you have some presenters that go up there, and they're just awkward, and they're trying to be funny, reading off the teleprompter, and they're just kind of not doing it very well, in my opinion. But there were some other, the Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande doing, a truncated version of Defying Gravity. I thought that was great. I'm glad that they honored that song, since it was nominated, since it wasn't an original, song, sadly. But it was great. They're very talented. The one thing that was really awkward to me that just didn't work, where they did this whole homage to James Bond songs, and yeah, I just found it really sloppy. And some of the people they brought in to do covers of the songs, frankly, I don't think they did a very good job. It was wild that they couldn't, even get some of the original people that sang these songs. They couldn't get Adele. Was she unavailable to do Skyfall? Because the person they had in place of her was not nearly as good. So that was weird, obviously. And again, there's some other comedic bits that maybe fell flat. Honestly, most of them did not involve Conan O'Brien. I think he did a very good job. And of course, there were some winners this night, some nominees, frankly, that I don't think should have been nominated, that ended up winning. And some of the winners, I was like, really? Over this person? A little frustrating. But overall, I thought it was a good ceremony, at least what I watched of it. But let's go ahead and get into the big winners. I'm just on the Academy Awards, www.oscars.org official site. So I'm just going to talk about these and how they present them. So actor in a leading role, the winner was Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. He was the favorite for quite some time. Of course, he had his fellow nominees, Sebastian Stan, Ralph Fiennes, Colman Domingo, Timothée Chalamet. Of these other films that I saw, I only saw Ralph Fiennes in Conclave. And I thought he did a really good job. I really liked his performance throughout the film. I can't really speak on the other ones, but Adrian Brody won. Jesus Christ, his speech was very obnoxious. It's so funny. Even though you can have these actors and they're very talented, some of them cannot improvise. Some of them cannot, speak off the cuff. And Adrian Brody just feels like that kind of guy. He's not very good at it. At one point when they were trying to all right, get his out off the stage, the orchestra started playing again. He's like, shut that shit off. I have some more stuff to say that doesn't make any sense. So one of the most awkward speeches of the night certainly came from Adrian Brody. But I haven't seen The Brutalist. Everyone that has seen it said he was really good in it. I believe them. I'll eventually check it out. But yeah, he was the favorite to win, and it makes sense that he won. Actor in a supporting role, of course, the winner was Kieran Culkin. He's pretty much been dominating this year. He was winning all the major awards in those shows, so it doesn't really come as a huge surprise, personally. Of the other films that I saw on this list, was Ouroboros for Anora, which I thought he was really great. I guess he would have been my only choice. That's the only film that I saw in this specific category. But Kieran Culkin won. That didn't really come as a huge surprise to anybody. He's been sweeping, so yeah, not a big deal. Actors in the role. So this is the one where I feel like they really got it wrong, in my opinion. They really got it wrong here. The winner was Mikey Madison for Anora. Now, Mikey Madison, I thought, did a great job in Anora, right? I really enjoyed Anora as a film overall. It was my number 10 this year in my top 10 best films list. I thought there were 9 other films that were better than Anora, but it was a very good movie. It's like the darker version of Pretty Woman, and I thought Mikey Madison did a great job. However, I feel like Demi Moore for The Substance gave the better performance. I thought more of the substance was resting on her shoulders, how just raw her performance was, what she went through physically for that role, the balancing of the dramatic elements, the horror elements, the comedic elements. I think she just nailed all that, and it should have gone to her. It absolutely should have gone to her. And not just because of her legacy or just the years in which she's been acting. Of course, a lot of people factor that in. I just think that she gave the better performance. I thought she was better than Mikey Madison. So that's the one that sticks in my craw the most, where I'm like, I really think they got this one wrong. And again, not to say Mikey Madison did a bad job. She did not. Like Cynthia Erivo, I thought was great in Wicked. And Carlos Sofia's Gascon, frankly, she shouldn't have been nominated. Frankly, that nomination should have been rescinded based on the stuff she's been saying. And Fernanda Torres, I've heard, is also very good. And I haven't seen that movie, but between Demi Moore and Mikey Madison, it absolutely 100% should have went to Demi Moore. I just feel that way. An actress in a supporting role, it went to Zoe Saldana. Again, she's been sweeping all these major award shows, winning for first of all, she's the lead character in Amelia Perez, so her nomination supporting role just doesn't really make much sense to me. Honestly, it should be reversed. Carlos Sofia Gascon should be nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and Zoe Saldana, not that either of them should be, I don't think so, but she should have been nominated for Best Actress. In any case, I really just didn't dislike her performance. I thought her character was severely underwritten. Didn't really get to understand her or know her. And she got several songs in the film, and I thought she sang all those songs really, really poorly. Really, really poorly. And so I don't get it. I understand why Amelia Perez was nominated. It was for sociopolitical reasons. No question about that now. But I found her performance to be incredibly disappointing. Now, the other people on this list, like Ariana Grande, I thought was great in Wicked. I thought she was really, really impressive. I mean, of the people that I've seen, I would have given it to her. She really impressed me in the movie. She had some great dramatic moments, some great comedic moments. She's very, very funny. Some great gags, consistent gags throughout the film. And I recently just saw Conclave, where Isabella Rossellini is in it. Quite frankly, I really don't understand as to why she's nominated. And not to say that she isn't good in the movie. She's good, but I feel like there were many other supporting actresses this year that were better than her that didn't get nominated. She kind of has like a moment in the film that everyone says, oh, but that's her moment. I'm like, I guess so. It's like a good moment, but it's not one. I'm going to talk about Conclave in general because I really like the movie, but I don't feel like, I just feel like I wasn't completely enraptured by the film. So I'm kind of confused by her nomination anyway, but Zoe Saldana did not deserve to win, nor did she deserve to get nominated for this wretched role. But of the award for actors, Chad, I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts on this. Then we can talk more about the other nominees in a second. Let me go ahead and see what you guys are saying. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. So long, Josh. Thank you so much for subscribing too. I do appreciate that. Very kind. Very, very kind. I think they picked new artists on purpose to cover the Bond songs. Yeah, that didn't work out. I didn't like that. Either get some of the original singers or get some people that actually know how to sing the songs. Yeah, I should have gotten Adele. I'll admit that his speech was too long in regards to Adrian Brody. I thought it was funny when he shushed the piano player. So shut up! Do you guys like legit people had the audacity to say Timothy Sagwart's speech was pretentious? Meanwhile, this guy literally told the orchestra to stop and said the whole thing and nothing for an extra 4 minutes. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Like I recently, because I saw little Timmy's speech for the SAG Awards. I guess some people were bothered by it. It wasn't really, I guess some people misinterpreted what he was saying. He wasn't saying like, aren't I so great? No, he said he wants to aspire to be one of the greats, which I think is actually a really good thing. Like he's hungry for it. He wants to be remembered in that way, and he wants to strive to get there, which I actually didn't have a problem with what he said. I thought people went a little too far with their criticism. I thought his speech was fine. But Adrian Brody's speech was just like, what the fuck are you even saying, dude? And again, it really shows you, some of these actors just, they without a sense of structure, it shows their lack of talent. Certainly when it comes to improv, certainly when it comes to speaking off the cuff. So not as awkward as that Joaquin speech. Oh, well, Joaquin Phoenix, you talk about a guy that can't improvise. Joaquin Phoenix is that guy. Super awkward, unless he's hiding in a fridge. Huge snub. I was shocked. Yeah, for Demi Moore. Yeah, that one. That one didn't. This one doesn't. And again, I think Mikey Madison did a good job. She shouldn't have won it. She frankly shouldn't have won it. it's that snub is kind of up there with some big ones in my opinion. Like Mark Rylance beating Sylvester Stallone, right? That was when I was like, give me a fucking break. It should have absolutely went to Stallone that year. Like this one's up there, I think, for a lot of people. Also, even though Demi didn't win for The Substance, I feel winning an Oscar, you can rest in your win. I feel like she and Ray Fiennes are going to keep doing weird movies like The Substance, like the 100%. Like, I hope so. Well, if anything, it's so funny because it's ironic because Mikey Madison winning over Demi Moore is kind of like The Substance. So it's kind of crazy that happened. But no, I hope it's a career renaissance for Demi Moore. She gets more roles and weird stuff, more genre films. It's working out for her, clearly. And Ray Fiennes has always been doing well for himself. Yeah, Demi should have gotten it, but Mikey got a better rack to riches. Newbie story. Gotcha. Pro says, I'm glad Mikey won. Also said, we all know the Oscars don't like a genre. They do. I'll tell you right now, the other thing about it, why what also I think hurt Demi, and it's not hurt her, but the reason why she didn't win is there is absolutely no question about 100% objective truth that the Academy has a bias against genre films. They have a bias against the horror genre. They have a bias against the sci-fi genre. They have a bias against the fantasy genre. There's no question about that. And for whatever reason, they refuse to nominate a lot of these films, even though they are very deserving. But it's just permeated this culture where those films are looked down. But even though most of those films are what keeps the fucking film industry alive, so that's really weird. But yeah, you have these big filmmakers that like dismiss those films on the regular, and it's just, quite frankly, I think it's obnoxious and it looks poorly on them because they wouldn't be able to work in this industry without those movies to begin with. So it's disappointing that, because I think The Substance is easily the best movie this year. I really do. I think it should have won. I think it should have won Best Picture. I think it would. I think Corley Farguet deserved Best Director personally. But again, there's a huge bias against horror. I mean, the last horror movie to win an Academy Award, I believe, was Get Out, and that was 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then, or 2017. And then, like, the last horror film to be nominated to win a major awards was Silence of the Lambs back in 1991, 30 years ago, over 30 years ago now at this point. So, yeah, they just need to bring in, like, it's just so weird. Like, they have all these old fuddy-duddies that, and the other thing about it is, too, you got to remember, you have a lot of these voters who are just not watching these films in anyway. They're just not watching them. They're either like, what's the popular choice? What's the choice that's in vogue and things, and they dismiss all these other films. That's a horror film. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to watch this drama instead. Which I think there needs to be a way to bring in more people that have more diverse opinions and are more accepting of other genres. No doubt about that. And you got to kick out some of these other older fucks that don't need to be there anymore, quite frankly. That's the other thing about it. And you need to ensure, there has to be some type of cataloging of people watching these movies. And if you didn't watch these films, then I'm sorry, you don't get the vote. All right, you need to watch all these movies in order to then vote for these nominees. So, yeah. I do agree it would have been cool to see her win, but this movie landing with how it did has secured her comeback and guaranteed us at least another several years of prominent performances from her. She just finished shooting the new movie from the director of Sorry to Bother You, and I hope that's great. That's good. She still should have won, though. I feel like Ariana should have had a chance to get it, especially since Zoe wasn't a supporting actress in the movie. True. I'm still mad that Ray Fiennes didn't get nominated for Yeah, that's the other thing, because it's a genre movie. Because it was a genre movie. That's why that movie got really ignored. That specific Academy Award, or that year for the Academy Awards. She got outacted by all four of the other nominees and outsang by two of them. Yes, in regards to Zoe Saldana, agreed. I feel like the supporting actress category is struggling this year to just find actors to put in. I'm gonna go back and look at my list of who I would nominate, but yeah, and again, I don't mean to be mean to Isabella Rossellini, but I wouldn't have nominated her for Conclave personally, but Dyer, good to have you here. Tell what the Oscars I wanted Demi Moore for The Substance to win. Yes, agreed. I thought Doja Cat singing Diamonds Forever. That was the worst one. I was like, who the hell is this? I'm unfamiliar. As you guys know, I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to music. I have always admitted that. But I was like, what the fuck? Diamonds Are Forever. Not a great movie. But the song is amazing. The song is really goddamn good. And the way she sang, I was like, get the fuck off the stage. That was pretty bad. And that was just weird to do Like, why a homage to Bond? Is it just, did fucking, like, Jeff Bezos, like, give a couple $1 million to the Academy? Like, hey, can you keep James Bond the pop culture zeitgeist? And so people kind of know that we're doing something with it. That was, like, really weird. Like, I understood why they did, like, a bunch of songs for it, like, way back when. Because wasn't it, like, the 50th anniversary of Bond, like, in 2013 or 2012, I want to say? And they did, like, this whole presentation for it, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, then this was just weird. This felt like kind of manufacturing weird way. It was just odd. They're shooting bias for the superhero genre. Those movies legit are good for the yeah. I mean, some have been nominated. Some have been nominated in the past. I think Hundreds of Beavers should be picture. I know I'm fucking. Oh, should be not 100%. Hundreds of Beavers absolutely should be nominated for Best Picture. I will stand fucking by that. That movie was amazing. Return of the King is the only major fantasy film in the last 20 plus years to win Best. Yeah, it's true. That's true. And they also did it to like make up for the fact that Fellowship and Two Towers didn't win, because I feel like those are probably two of the best movies of their respective years as well. But they're like, oh, fine, here you go. Here, we'll give it you for Return of the King. The reason why The Substance, in my opinion, didn't win is because the movie was pretty much talking shit. Well, that too. Yeah, it's weird. Like Hollywood loves movies about Hollywood. And sometimes deconstructive, but also show, isn't Hollywood glamorous? They do love that shit. And they're not always on board with films that kind of critique Hollywood. Those are oftentimes, I think, also looked down upon. They're like, hey, don't put this out there. Demi losing gave me Glenn Close losing to Olivia Colman, The Favorite vibes all those years ago. To be fair, I fucking loved Olivia Colman, The Favorite. I thought she was great. She was my choice. Will Smith winning over Andrew Garfield, Tick, Tick, Boom. To be fair, I didn't see Tick, Tick, Boom. Same night he assaulted Chris Rock. Well, there's been some memorable Oscar snubs throughout the years, and this will certainly be remembered. It's going to be remembered. This is one of the biggest ones in quite some time. Be fair, though, I really fucking loved Olivia Colman in The Favorite. I thought she deserved it that year. What did Glenn Close do? Was that the one where she played like a hobgoblin? In the J.D. Vance biopic movie. Oh, man. She's that good. She's the moo moo bitch. I'm a cow bitch. Moo moo. I don't like, what was it like? I'm not a cat. I'm a cow. I think that's what the lyrics were. Doja Cat, huh? Damn, that girl. Doja Cat did that. Bitch, I'm a cow son. Gotcha. And also, not so fun fact, she gets off the white guys calling her the N-word in bed. Whoa. Okay. Well. Weird. Yeah, I think it's the whole Amazon thing. It's the anniversary, and Skyville been nominated for some awards at that ceremony. Right. The segment with Bond was made. It felt like a last minute addition. It really felt like a last minute addition. It was just like, this is weird. So I went back and watched because people were complaining about it. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, yeah, this didn't work. It didn't work. That was a low point. That was definitely, in terms of just the performances, presentation. That was one of the lowest points of the year, and I think it honestly was because it was a last minute addition. It's why Babylon got shut out that year. The entire second half is about Hollywood and a cesspool of assholes. They'll chew you up and spit you out at a moment's notice. But that movie, now I haven't seen Babylon to be fair, but very divisive film. A very divisive film too. I know a lot of people that liked it, a lot of people that did not like it. Substance still won makeup. I was glad to see it win that. I was very glad. I'm so glad it beat Amelia Perez, which quite frankly had terrible makeup. Yeah, the Quincy Jones segment, that was pretty cool. That was really nice. Yeah. All this sounds weird. Yeah, all the we'll get to it in a bit. Well, continuing on with the rest of the awards. I just wanted to briefly kind of stop to discuss acting, but let's move on to some of these other ones. Animated feature films. The winner was Flow. Now, I actually saw Flow this week. I'm going to be doing a short review for it in just a bit. I really liked the movie. However, I still feel like of the other nominated films, I think Inside Out 2 and Wild Robot were better. And I think either of those probably should have taken it over Flow. I also really, really enjoyed Wallace and Gromit: The Vengeance Most Foul. I'm a huge Wallace and Gromit fan, so say it's a bias, sure. But I really like that movie quite a bit. I think maybe I would rank Flow above it, just because of its originality and its bold choices. There's literally no dialogue in Flow at all. It's just animal sounds and these animals going on this kind of journey together, which, it's a beautiful movie, and it does have like a lot of heartfelt moments and spectacle and stuff, and it leaves room open up for like audiences to interpret it in their own way, room for discussion stuff. It's a very well made movie, But personally, I would have given it to either Inside Out 2 or The Wild Robot. At the same time, Flow is good. Just my opinion. Animated short film, I didn't see any of these, so I can't say the winner was In Shadow of the Cypress. Sure. Cinematography, winner was The Brutalist. The other nominees were Dune Part 2, well-deserved nomination. Amelia Perez, I thought Amelia Perez was shot very poorly, so again, I don't know. Marie, I don't know what that is. Nosferatu had beautiful cinematography. Again, I can't really speak on The Brutalist because I didn't see it. Saw a trailer, cinematography looks good, so I believe it does have good cinematography. Dunes is great, and Nosferatu is great, so we went to The Brutalist, which seemingly was a favorite, I think, maybe leading up to this award season, but he got shut out of a lot of other big wins this night. Then you got costume design. Winner was Wicked. No surprise there. I think that makes sense. Other nominees were Complete Unknown, which, okay, clothing from the 60s. Is that? I like, personally, when it comes to makeup, when it comes to hairstyling and costuming, certainly, I like something that like is big and bold and colorful, or just you really make me feel like I'm in a different world and on a whole like new landscape, like immerse me in this. And I feel like films like Wicked did that. I feel like, costume design, sure, like Wicked and Nosferatu. Honestly, I think you could have had Dune nominated for this category as well. Quite personally. And Gladiator 2, I'll say this, like, listen, I don't like the movie. I don't think it's a good movie at all. I think it actively hurts the original Gladiator, honestly. But the costumes were good in Gladiator 2, I will say that. But Wicked winning, I had no issues. So I guess in terms of like some of these ones, let me see what your thoughts on it, especially when it comes to animated feature film. I'm curious if you guys kind of feel the same way about that. Oh, yeah, Morgan Freeman's tribute to Gene Hackman. That was great. That was really good. I liked that moment, too. The first animated film fully made in a blender to win an Oscar for 3D program. That's pretty cool. I thought Inside Out 2 was decent but unnecessary. See, I really loved that movie. Was surprised it's Flow winning. Haven't seen it yet, but I have no full thoughts. And you can rent it on Amazon. You can find it on so many different websites, honestly. But I watched it via Amazon with Katria, and we both really enjoyed it. That was great. I have some questions about certain things, especially one thing involving a bird. But outside that, it's a really good movie. If anything, I could give this year's Oscar points that Conan O'Brien thought he did a better job. 100% Die Hard. Yeah, Conan O'Brien's better than Jimmy Kimmel and everything. He's a really talented guy. I liked all the big movies walked away with a little something, even Conclave for adapted screenplay. We'll talk about the screenplays. Because they were stacked this year, and the nominees felt obligatory like some other years. I mean, yes, the animated feature film category was very tough. It was very tough. Like the only one I haven't seen is Memoir of a Snail, but I've heard it's very good, and I believe it. I just personally felt Wild Robot, Inside Out 2 were better than the other nominees, but but Flow's still really good. Flow is still a really good movie. I know people last year, like I was the guy that was beating my drum for the Boy and the Heron. I thought that was better than Across the Spider-Verse, to be perfectly honest. A lot of people did not feel that way, so I guess now the shoe's on the other foot for me. So fair enough. Let's see. I want to see Flow, but it was only playing my local AMC. Didn't want to go there. You watch it on VOD. Crazy Cray. Yo, right back at you. I hope you're doing well. The only one I didn't see was Memoirs of Snail, but I thought the other four were great. Yeah. Yes. As well, Robert was. I was shocked that didn't. Yeah, I thought that was the favorite. But then I guess Flow started picking up some steam and started winning some other awards, and yeah, fair. But again, I do wonder how many of the actual nominees watch these other films, or the other voters watch these movies. I do wonder that. So, they don't. Yeah, I know exactly. That's that's a big issue that I have. Huge issue. But then moving on from those, let's get to directing. The winner was Sean Baker for Anora. Again, this is one of the big dark horses. I think Anora was the dark horse for this year, beating out, honestly, probably seemingly the two favorites for the award, at least from the voters, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, and Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, who quite frankly shouldn't have even been nominated and should have had his nomination rescinded. And, again, I can't speak on it. Complete Unknown, didn't see it. I personally think The Substance should have won. I think Corley Fargay absolutely should have won this. I thought she did a fantastic job. I thought she was better than Sean Baker. But Sean Baker winning was a surprise. And, I much better than Amelia Perez. I can say that. I just haven't seen The Brutalist. I haven't seen a Complete Unknown. But I think Corley Fargay should have won it. And the reason why she did not win it's because there is a profound bias against horror films from the Academy. So disappointed there, but glad Jacques Audiard didn't get it. Documentary feature film, didn't see any of these. No Other Land won. Documentary short film, didn't see any of these. The Only Girl in the Orchestra won. Fair enough. Film editing went to Anora, beating out editing for The Brutalist. Conclave is well edited. Amelia Perez, I think the editing was terrible in that movie, so again, I don't understand. Wicked editing, very good, but Anora won. You know what? Honestly, this one, I don't think it should have won this one. Because one of my issues with the film is, I liked Anora. I shouldn't be I'm sounding negative on Anora right now, even though I liked the movie. Again, it was my 10th best movie of 2024. I really enjoyed the film. But if I have a criticism against it, it was too long. It's over 2 hours. I think it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. You could have cut those. Some scenes go on for a little bit too long, and you could have cut out a lot of it. I think that this movie was just under 2 hours. It would be a lot better. And so, to be completely honest, I don't think I would have given it this award either. So, yeah, I think, again, of the films that I've seen, I think it was probably more either Conclave or Wicked. That's just me. Again, I haven't seen The Brutalist, so I can't say. International feature film went to I'm Still Here, and a lot of people were happy about this one because Amelia Perez did not win, which seemingly was the favorite. Although the other nominee was Flo, which was nice to see that. But I still need to see this movie. I heard it's really good. It's been on a lot of people's best of lists. I'll check it out eventually. But yeah, I'm glad that won. I'm just glad. This was just the please don't give it to Amelia Perez. Everyone's give it to any one of these other ones. Just don't give it to Amelia Perez. But there you go. And makeup and hairstyling went to The Substance, which, yeah, it deserved it. I'm very happy that it won. It would have been fucking wild if it lost that, if it got shut out of every big win. But I'm so glad, as I've said, The Substance is a grotesquely beautiful movie, and I say that in the kindest way possible, in the best way possible, because just the effects, what they did were stupendous. I loved how gross this movie was. They knocked out of the goddamn park, so good for them. Good for them. But then you also had A Different Man, which I've not seen. People say is really good. Amelia Perez, frankly, should not have been nominated here. I feel like what they, early in the film, they have Carlos Sofia Gascon dressed up as, was ridiculous. Didn't look like a real person. Nosferatu, well-deserved nomination. And Wicked also a well-deserved nomination. So of the movies, the four that I've seen, three of them deserving, but I'm glad Substance won because I thought it was the best one. And then we'll get down to the other ones in just a bit. What are your thoughts so far, Che? Let me see. I like to check back of you guys, see what you guys are saying right now. 2 hours, 18 minutes? Yeah, it didn't need to be 2 hours and 18 minutes. That's way too long. Way too long. If Denny were nominated, he would have won, says Pro. I know a lot of people were upset that he wasn't nominated. I figured Corbett was a lot for that because of the sheer scope and ambition of that movie, especially considering it's only his third movie. Directing of The Substance was amazing. Had me back like an old David Cronenberg. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, David Cronenberg, Stanley Kubrick, all that was on full display, yep. But Desolate says I'm pretty happy with Nora's sweep. It's a huge win for independent cinema. Your lifeline at a time in the industry where it's hard to ever get movies. I mean, the thing is, though, I'm going to push back a little bit on that. Because haven't the last, other than Oppenheimer, haven't all the other not big winners of the 2020s so far been pretty small films, you know? You had Coda, Nomadland, Everything Ever All at Once was made for $25 million. Really the only big one was Oppenheimer. From last year. So I guess that's the thing. They've definitely been awarding a lot of smaller films, for the last 5 years now. Net positive filmmakers like Sean Baker as a whole who want to continue blazing their own path rather than a paycheck gig, like a Marvel project or something, says Podesla. Sean Baker is definitely the favorite and the director after the DGA win and WGA win and PGA win. Yeah, I guess that's when it just starts to shift. Yeah, so I see something. I recommend it. I keep hearing different mans like The Substance, but with dudes. Fair enough. Parasite, yeah, that's another one. A smaller independent movie. But yeah, then moving on, we make a hairstyling, then music. Music, the winner was Brutalist. I can't really say. I've heard little bits and pieces in the trailer. It sounds good. Conclave, after watching the movie, I thought the music in Conclave was very good. Amelia Perez, get the fuck out of here. I thought that is ridiculous. I don't get it. Wicked, very good. Very good music. Wild Robot, also very good music. So pretty competitive category in my opinion. Again, I haven't seen Brutal, so I can't say that one, sure. Amelia Perez fucking sucks. But Conclave, Wicked, and Wild Robot all had great music, so I'm glad they were nominated. Music original song, the winner was El Mal for Amelia Perez. Again, no. No, it's bad. And I thought outside of Adrian Brody, these people gave the most, and it sucks that I think Jacques Audiard also got like an Oscar for this too. He got one because of this song, because he contributed to the writing of it, which I don't think he deserved it, to be quite frank, especially for his recent comments and stuff, just kind of a gross human being. But they also gave one of the most obnoxious speech next to Adrian Brody during the ceremony, where they were just like, music was playing, they were like, singing off key, just like in the fucking film, Amelia, and they just kept going. It's like, get the fuck off the stage, all right? None of the songs are good. Anyway, the other nominees were The Journey from the 688, didn't see that, I don't know what that is. Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Amelia Perez, also not a good song, and Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. Again, I have no dogs in this particular race. I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I either didn't see these movies, or frankly, I think some of these songs just fucking suck, specifically for Amelia Perez. So not most best original song. This was, there was no I'm just Ken. There was no I'm just Ken. There was been going, yeah, which ended up didn't winning anyway. It was weird. And here we go, the big one, Chad, the big one. Actually, no, let me save this. Let me go with these other ones. We'll end on Best Picture. Let me tackle these other ones. Production design, winner was Wicked. Very, very well deserved. Other nominees were The Brutals, can't say. Conclave, good production design. Yep. Dune Part 2, also great production design. Nosferatu, also great. I mean, man, this is hard. I'm Wicked winning was fine. I have no problem with that. Maybe because I'm a horror guy, I would have given it to Nosferatu personally, but I'm okay with Wicked winning. I don't think that's controversial. Live action film, I don't know. I'm not a robot, didn't see these. Sound, Dune Part 2, great choice. I have no issues with this. It was great sound in the film. Other nominees were Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, Get the Fuck Out, Wicked, yes, great choice. Wild Robot, also great choice. Of these, I think Wild Robot, very, very much deserved nomination. Wicked deserved it. And Dune Part 2 winning, I have no problem with that. I think all the technical aspects of Dune are great. Visual effects. Dune Part 2 also won this. Not a big surprise. Other nominees were Alien Romulus, which, not to say Alien Romulus didn't have good special effects. It did have good visual effects, but it also had some fucking terrible ones. It had some wretched ones, which I feel like would have canceled that out and it should have been nominated, but other people different. Ian Holm, what they fucking did to Ian Holm in that movie is like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. and the whole thing at the end with the newborn is like, nah, this ain't working. So I would have not have nominated Better Man, which I didn't see. No one did. I'm kidding. I'm just poking fun. I'm beating a dead horse. Poor Better Man. I've heard it's good. I've heard it's really good. Everyone who has seen it has said it's great. A musical biopic movie. I'm just like, I'm good. Kid Playing Apes. This would have been my choice personally. I was a huge fan of Kid Playing Apes. It was in my top 10 of this past year. Those monkeys look real fucking good, chat. Those apes look great, in my opinion. Look better than ever, which is saying something because they always look good. The effects in the apes movies always look better with each entry. And Wicked also was nominated, which also were the choice. But Dune Part 2 winning out, that's not controversial. It's a beautiful looking movie. Nothing wrong with that. And then writing, which is some of my favorite categories. The winner was Conclave for Best Adapted Screenplay. Other nominees, Queen Unknown. I didn't see it, so I don't know. Amelia Perez, Get the Fuck Out. Nickel Boys, can't say. Sing Sing, can't say. So of the two, it was Conclave, Amelia Perez, and I'm like, I'm gonna go with Conclave. I'll get more into my thoughts on Conclave in just a bit, but there are a lot of really good moments in Conclave. A lot of intimate, passionate conversations in that film, arguments in that film that did really work for me. So I'm glad it won. That was the big win for Conclave last night. And writing original screenplay, winner was Anora, written by Sean Baker. The other nominees were The Brutalist, A Real Pain by Jesse Eisenberg, September 5th, and The Substance by Coralie Forgay. As you guys know, I think The Substance should have got. I thought it was the best film of the year. But it was given to Anora. However, I'm not upset with Anora winning best screenplay. I think that was fine. It was the only films in this specific category I've seen are Anora and The Substance. So I still would have given The Substance personally. But Anora winning, I was like, that was fine. It's a very well-written movie. Very well-written movie. And then the last one, and then I'll get your guys' thoughts on this too. Best Picture. Obviously, the big winner was Anora, which was a dark horse. Because the favorites seemingly going into this, at least for a while, until the tides just started changing, they started shifting. The two favorites were The Brutalist and Emilia Perez, but they did not take it home. They did not take home the Best Picture. That instead went to Anora. Of course, outside the other nominees being The Brutalist and Emilia Perez, you had A Complete Unknown, which I haven't seen, Conclave, Dune Part 2, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked. Now you guys know what I'm saying already. The Substance should have won. That should have won Best Picture, in my honest opinion. But Anora ended up taking it. I'm just glad Emilia Perez lost. That's the other thing, part of it too. But, yeah. So that's the thing. And overall, I feel like this was a solid ceremony. Maybe there has been a couple of better ones in the past, but I think Conan O'Brien did a great job. Some of the bits that did not involve him, I think, kind of fell flat. That Bond song was really bad. That whole segment, that didn't work at all. You had some good speeches that were very succinct, that were very nice. Some other speeches that, quite frankly, were obnoxious. Adrian Brody's speech, I thought, was pretty egregious. The speech by the songwriters for Emilia Perez, that didn't work at all, personally. But overall, it was an entertaining show. It was fun. I think in years back, I do wonder, of all the, past award shows where you see, what wins Best Picture, is this movie going to be talked about, in the future, by a lot of people, for the 2020s, I think you've had some big ones people are going to be talking about for quite some time that are part of kind of the pop culture zeitgeist and are well liked. Oppenheimer, I think, is just one of those films. It was a cultural phenomenon. Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think, is one of those films. Anora, honestly, I'm not so sure. It's a very good movie, but is it going to be looked back on as kindly as something like Oppenheimer or Everything All at Once, or is it going to be more like a Nomadland or a Coda, where it's not saying that those are bad movies, but they're not going to be it's like, oh yeah, that one, that was yes. When I think back about the best, picture winners of the 2020s, I don't know how many people are going to be talking about Nomadland. So, that's the thing. But yeah. I think also the reason why I think Emilia Perez and The Brutalist were shut out so much were probably for their controversies too. I think that did affect things. Emilia Perez more so, obviously, just because of just all the wretched shit that was coming out. Also, just the backlash of the film in general. It's just not a very good movie. I think that definitely affected it to a degree. That became more divisive as it went on, to say the least. Then everything with what Jacques Audiard was saying, all the gross things he said, and obviously all the horrible and gross things that Carlos Sofia Gascon was saying, that definitely hurt it. And so it was pretty much, even though it was looking like it was going to sweep, it was shut out. And I do think a bit of the AI stuff hurt The Brutalist, though not to the same degree. Obviously, it's the stuff that hurt Emilia Perez. But yeah, going into those were kind of looked at as the two favorites, and I think Anora really was that dark horse that came in. It's like, all right, well, out of these ones, and we can't give it to The Substance because we have a bias against horror and fantasy and all that. Let's give it to Anora instead. At least that's my opinion. That's my perspective on this. That's how I read this. But yeah. Let me see what you guys are saying. Overall thoughts on the Best Picture winner and just the Oscars in general. Let's see here. I'd say everything looked good except the in-home stuff. I did not like the way the newborn looked. I have a huge issue with the way that thing looked. I thought it was goofy as fuck. There were times the CGI looked really bad on it. Sometimes it was a practical effect and the guy in the suit, right? And it was a real person. But other times that's obviously, it just didn't look good. Don't think Dune will have a chance at Best Picture till it's done. You're going to win Best Picture. But yeah, it's going to be like a Lord of the Rings situation, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Chris Garcia, a great time with Better Man. A lot of tea spill. I'm spilling that tea, baby. Emilia Perez, get the fuck out of here. I just call her Coraline Fargo at this point. That's fine. That's a good name. I started watching Nickel Boys today. I'm liking it so far, but need to watch the rest later. Chris Anora is my third favorite of the nominees behind Brutalist and Substance, but it made my top 10 in general for last year, so I'm good with this choice. They need to make it 5 nominees again because most of the other movies didn't need to be nominated as pro. I don't mind it being opened up. I really don't mind it. I think more of these should be open. I think I think the opposite. I don't think it should be even more restricted. I think a lot of these categories should be opened up now, especially for Best Director. We haven't had a bad winner this decade yet. Yeah. Not a bad winner. Again, not to say these movies were like, not to say like Nomadland or Coda were bad. Like, they're not. But frankly, I just don't think they're as memorable as some of the other winners in past years. There are also COVID winners, which is an odd. Yeah, that hurt it too. Every time I think about that, I think of La La Land fiasco. I feel like La La Land should have won Best Picture and still stand by that because it's a way more memorable film. And still talk about today, but Moonlight got it. Best Picture is tricky. Yeah. All I remember about it was the cancer snake. That was the Oscars, right? Yes, that was the yes. Our Ticket to Hawaii, Chad. That deserved a nomination. Chris, that's your Xenomorph Mutant Baby. No, I don't want it. Edgy Berserker Kevin. Good to have you here. Good to have you here, Edgy. Hope you're doing very well. Good to see you. Just right when we were talking about Our Ticket to Hawaii. Look at that. So appropriate. Yeah. Okay, I keep forgetting to address the eye thing with the brutalist from that. I'm reading it was applied sparingly, carefully, and it was mainly for perfecting hearing during dialogue scenes. Right. But that's the thing that it doesn't even matter. It's just like the fact that it just used AI and that just got out there, permeated the pop culture zeitgeist. It became a controversy, and it just, I do think that affected it. I do. Maybe, again, I don't think to the same degree as something like Amelia Perez and all of its controversies. No, but I do think it affected it. Yeah. Madam Web sweep. Yeah, was there a Madam Web joke this year? There was definitely some Joker 2 jokes. There were definitely some Joker filet à deux, omelette du fromage jokes. No question about that. Yeah. Moonlight's wing got overshadowed by the screw up of La La Land. It did. That was a wild moment. Oscar history right there. But yeah, overall, you guys know what my favorite film of the year was, The Substance. I feel like it deserved more. But again, I think the Academy, I think a lot of these voters are biased against genre. They're biased against horror. They're biased against fantasy and science fiction. I think that's sad. And I go back to this, and then they shouldn't be, because frankly, those are the films that are keeping fucking Hollywood open. Okay? That is an objective truth. That is a fact. And I feel like more of those movies deserve recognition. Not saying that they should always win. I'm not saying that. I think they deserve recognition. I think they should be giving as just a fair shot as all these other dramas, in my opinion. So, but yeah, overall, it was fun to watch. Again, thank you, Deadpool, for hosting it. It was really great to talk about it. Nice little post Oscars recap chat. Super fun, super fun. Oh my lord! And I hope you like this conversation. But now, my friends, let me move a few things around. We got to get to some other stuff. Let's do it. I'm going to move a few things here. Do this. Do that. TS says the Oscars were okay this year. Something just fell off about it. I don't know if it was the controversy of several films, actors, etc. leading up to it, or maybe there was as many movies that I cared about enough this year. I have to go what next year holds. I don't think you're wrong, T-Gags. Let me look at last year's films. I should have done this. I feel like, I don't know, last year, Oscar, let me do it, 96 Academy Awards. Let's see. Can you just show me the goddamn winners, for the love of God? Actor in a leading role. I'd seen more of these movies. Other than Rustin, I saw all the. I think it's the thing. I just saw more of the nominees last year, so I had a better idea of what I figure what could win, who should win, etc. Cillian Murphy winning for Oppenheimer. I thought that was fine. I would have personally, my personal choice was Paul Giamatti for the holdovers, but like. Killing everyone. He's like, he did great. Jeffrey Wright was also very good. Bradley Cooper's the one I'm like, no. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it went. Actor supporting role. This is also super competitive. Yeah, I think it was. I just saw more of these movies last year, and I just think it was. I think it was a better year. I do think it was a better year last year. Robert Downey Jr. went for Oppenheimer, but Sterling K. Brown was great. Robert De Niro was great because Flower Moon. Ryan Gosling was great in Barbie. Mark Ruffalo was great in Poor Things. Right? And I think these were just really good. Actors in leading role. You had Emma Stone for Poor Things, Lily Gladstone for Because of Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller for Name of a Fall. Come on, Maestro. Annette Bening for Naiad. Emma Stone winning for Poor Things. That was a big one. Yeah, and then Divide joined right out for The Holdovers. That was, I mean, she swept, and I think she deserved it. Unlike Zoe Saldana, she fucking deserved it. You know? Yeah, I think for me, like just last year, I'd seen more of these nominated films. Funny enough, even though I watched more new releases last year, but it's funny how that worked out. So fair. So yeah, I agree. I agree. So good point. Breaker made a great point during an interview recently about how art movie can just be guilty of being formulaic and boring as hell. Worst blockbusters movie. I'm surprised he said that because he seemed to like be one of those guys that's like very dismissive of genre films. Crazy. Well, that's good to know. Maybe he was just kind of reacting to some of the blowback. Yeah, I think that's it. And I feel like the movies were better last year too. I don't know. No, I actually, again, not to say that there weren't great films this year. Like Substance, I think is great. That's like when I think of my favorite movies of the decade so far, The Substance is definitely in that on that list. It's 100% on that list. Like Substance, like this year, The Holdovers last year for me, like Everything Ever All at Once, Top Gun Maverick. Like these are movies I'm gonna think of when I think of the 2020s. So I think it's really good. I think it's really, really good.